Hey Dan and Linda, since I'm hoping you're watching this as well. Here's an update on the room that I've been doing, or that Beth and I have been working on. So since you were here, Dan, I've gotten a few things done. So to give you the sense of what we're doing, Dan, I know you know this, but Linda, you do not. So in this bedroom, this floor used to be bamboo, but we got a ton of water damage coming in through here. You can see this is like a daylight basement. And so we ended up deciding to put something in that was a little more robust in terms of water. So now we have a floor that looks like this, which was partly inspired by being in Tuscany visiting, or in Umbria, more specifically, visiting our son, daughter-in-law, grandchildren. Anyway, so one thing we decided to do, since we really don't need bedrooms anymore as such, this is going to be our library. We do have a metric butt ton of books, and we like to read. So this will be our place to come and read, maybe to play cards. I've got this old table and chairs that belong to my grandparents. I can show you those here in a second. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this whole wall, and it is going to be all built-in bookshelves. So as you can see, I've got at least the initial framework done for this wall. So you've got, I was able to pick up these boards. They are edge joined maple. So it's two pieces of maple edge joined, and then they were stained this dark brown color. We had picked them up when we owned the Money Pit, which was this old house that we bought with the intention of refurbing it. My youngest son, Preston, and I were going to do that. And that did not end up coming to fruition because there was a big development going in across the street. They bought us out. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I ended up with all these boards that we had picked up at the restore, thinking we were going to make baseboard, some sort of baseboard molding out of. So what we're going to do is we're using these to build this whole built-in bookcase. So what it's going to have two tiers. The first tier is going to be essentially 10 inches plus 7 inches deep. The 7 inches brings it out to the edge of the foundation wall. And then as you can see, I'm going to be biscuit joining those pieces together. I'm also going to be pocket hole screwing them together to make sure that they stay tight together. And then this piece will also screw to this piece. Then what we're going to do, this piece is not actually going to go all the way to the end, simply because if we're going to have two sets of bookshelves here and here, then we're going to need this square corner space empty. Otherwise, it's going to create this awkward thing where we have a support here, and this shelf goes all the way in. So now these two shelves will meet here in the corner, and you'll have one shelf support here, one shelf support there going this way. So the upper shelves on this one are also going to be 10 inches deep. So they'll be deeper, obviously, than the 7 inches. They'll probably come out to here once we join these together. And then this bookshelf will only be as deep as the foundation wall, so the 7 inches. And it's only going to go up to the ceiling. It will not come back down. Down below, what we'll have is I'm going to have some oak baseboard trim. I'm going to be trimming out the faces of all these bookshelves with a little oak screen mold, which looks something like this. And then the shelves here and here are all going to be adjustable. And I'll show you, it's going to use a mechanism that looks like this. So what you do is you take a 1x4 and you drill a 1.5 inch hole, every 2 inches, 3 inches, and then you rip that straight down the middle, and so you end up with two halves, and then you get a piece of 1 by 2, and then round the ends off, and those become the shelf supports. So all the shelves will be the same way. They're going to be painted this high gloss enamel white and then trimmed out with the oak screen mold. Up in the window here, so we're replacing both of these windows because they're old and rotten. And then what we'll do is we will trim that all the way out. But the shelving, let me get back here. The shelving is actually going to be, you're going to have one shelf that runs all the way across the top. And then you'll have supports here, of course, at the end, here, and there. So this will be adjustable shelving. Sorry, this will be adjustable shelving. And then you'll have that shelf that runs all the way across the top. And then we're going to finish off this, the top of this bookshelf and the top of this bookshelf with an oak crown molding. So it'll pick up those accents from that screen mold. So that's, I'm in the middle. Well, I am, I should have most of the shelving cut by tomorrow. And then it's a matter of just getting it all painted, because I have to put a high bond paint, primer on it because of that brown stain that was on those shelves. And then I have to, so there's 2 coats of that and then 2 coats of the high gloss enamel. So that way they should stand up to when my grandchildren come and visit and start climbing them. On this wall, we are going to have something that looks a lot like this, except it is going to be, so this is a like a woven textured wallpaper, and it is going to be, this entire wall is going to be like that. And then I think I'm going to frame it out all the way as if it were a picture. So we'll see when we get to that. That little garf right there is because there's a hose bib out there, and I have to replace that hose bib when we do the new siding. So that's this room on the inside. Let me quick show you what we're going to do, because while we're replacing these windows, we had this brainy idea. There's Milo. So what we're going to do is, we've got this T111 siding. That window's getting replaced, like I said. This window's getting replaced, that window, and then the window around the corner. And we are going to be doing this with Versetta stone, or I like to call it vendetta stone, because this house has got a vendetta against me. And it wants revenge for everything I've done. So the stone is going to go up to about here. And these are stone panels that are 8 inches by 3 feet, and they interlock. I think it's gonna look really nice. The only problem is I've got to cut all of that siding off where that stone goes in, then rewrap it, install the windows, and then put the stone in. And that stone, at least for now, it may continue around the corner next year if I get to it. But in the meantime, it's going to go here, there, here, and just that little bit over there. So here's the chairs that I was telling you about. These chairs and the table, card tables here. I'm actually gonna, those chairs are leather. I'm going to actually buy whole hide green leather and have the chairs reupholstered in leather. I think they're gonna look really nice. I've got pictures of my great-grandparents and my grandparents sitting in these chairs playing cards at this table. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, why in the world would I do that when I could just do it with vinyl? Well, because vinyl is for, I don't know, not for me. So anyway, that's kind of the what. That's what we're doing. It will keep me amply busy. So anyway, that's a lot. That's what I'm doing. Dan, I hope I have a lot of this done, at least the shelving done before you get here. Unfortunately, the windows are not due in until September 22nd, which is like the Monday after we get back from the road trip. So I can't even start this until the end of September, which I know is going to push me into October. And unfortunately, unlike in Pendleton and in California, October is not necessarily the best weather of the year in Minnesota. But I won't get hot, so there's that, I guess. All right, that's all I got. If you have questions, please submit them on the back of a $20 bill and mail them to me. Otherwise, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.